All right. All praise, all glory, all honors most certainly due to the Most High, God of the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Peace to you in the name of Jesus. This is your brother, Elisha Israel of the House of the Faith. That kind of always a blessing each and every single time that I can come before you. Never the kind of does a light thing to do so. And I want to continue with this short series on the Great Tribulation. What today is the place of safety. You know, just want to say this. Whatever you think, what I'm telling you is the truth as far as this word. So if you don't accept it, that's really not my problem. And I say that because people have a lot of misconceptions in their mind that have been planted there by false prophets, quite frankly. And they believe a lot of things pertaining to I'm in this stream. Oh, no, I'm not. Hold on. I guess it caught up. No, I might end this stream. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Is it working now? The Bible. Things that's the only way you can use the Bible to talk about is if you take things out of context. And this tribulation and the escape from the Great Tribulation. There's an escape from the Great Tribulation, but it is not a rapture. The rapture is false doctrine. Okay. You can go in the archives and look at that. I've dealt with that. I've dealt with what I'm about to deal with right now as well, but I did want to touch upon it. And that is the place of safety during Great Tribulation. So understand what's going on. First of all, the Great Tribulation started when the man of sin, the son of perdition, the abomination of desolation stands in the temple that is going to be rebuilt. That starts Great Tribulation. You're going to have a time right after that to get into the wilderness, or the place of safety. Okay. This Great Tribulation is the worst time that's ever going to be on this planet. And it is for 3.5 years, not 7. Okay. 7-year Great Tribulation does not exist. There's also no rapture. It's 3.5 years. Times and the dividing of times, 1260 days, 40 and 2 months. Okay. So also that man, the sin, the son of perdition, the abomination of desolation, when they call commonly the Antichrist, is none other than the Pope of Rome. Okay. One that's going to pay attention to what I'm saying. One that will occupy the office of the Pope. It is not an Ashkenazi Jew, as somebody said on one of the messages. It's not Donald Trump. Okay. No matter what you think about him, I'm not here advocating for him one way or the other. What I'm saying is he is not the Antichrist. Okay. I can remember years ago they kept saying it was Obama. Listen, it is not any one of these men. He is coming from the office of the papacy. Okay. Now, you can take it or leave it. Now what I'm going to deal with is what's going to happen. Well, not even what's going to happen, because I read what's going to happen during the Great Tribulation in a previous lesson. I'm going to just deal with very briefly. I'm not going to keep it long at all. We're going to find out what's the escape from the Great Tribulation. Let's go to Matthew, the 24th chapter. And again, I encourage you to go look at previous lessons. Like I said, it's kind of late in the day. Matthew, the 24th chapter, if you ain't been paying attention. Matthew, the 24th chapter. I've been on here for 10 years. If you haven't been paying attention, now you better start paying attention. Matthew 24 and verse 3. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Okay. He told them about the signs. He said, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ. And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. Okay. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All this is the beginning of sorrows. He says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because the iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure it until the end, the same shall be saved. So these are the things that are coming on the earth, and you must endure. Okay. People devastated because the basketball season is suspended. You better get your mind right. Straight up. You better get your mind right. That was a distraction anyway. That's what the bread and circus serves to do. Distract the common man, distract the common woman from the reality of the situation. What's the reality? Is you're gonna die. And you better get your house together better get it in order before you die. Or hell will be your portion. That's straight up. You have to endure. You better find out what the Most High desires of you and fulfill it. And so it says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the earth, in all the world, for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So it's all nations. He is the creator of all. Okay. Now he says, verse 15, which is key. Not another Bible verse like this, or not another account like this where you read it also in Mark, but this particular account. Peace to you, Brother Willie. Good to see you there. He says, when you therefore shall see the abomination and desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. We know from 2 Thessalonians that this is talking about that man of sin, the son of perdition, who's going to stand in the temple proclaiming himself that he is God. Verse 21 says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of this world, the beginning of the world to this time, no ever shall be. Okay, so that's going to start great tribulation. Let's go to Revelation. Because there's no rapture from great tribulation. Okay, matter of fact, let's just read this in Daniel real quick, see what this man's going to be doing. Daniel, let's pick it up in the book of Daniel. We're going to pick it up in the 7th chapter, Daniel 7, and we're going to pick it up at verse 25, talking about this same one. This man is in peace to you, Brother Leo. Good to see you. He says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of times, 3.5 years. And notice what he's doing. He is wearing out the saints, brothers and sisters. He's wearing them out. Okay, they are being killed at this time. There is no rapture. Okay, but there is an escape from great tribulation. Revelation, the 12th chapter. It says here, I'm going to just pick it up at verse 1 so we know what's going on. It says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. This represents the children. The woman represents the children of Israel. Okay. If you go back to Genesis, the 37th chapter, you see Joseph's dream, where he had a dream where the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance unto him. And his father said, what shall I and your mother and your brother bow down to make obeisance unto you? Okay, so what is that talking about? That's talking about him. That's talking about the nation. Okay, and what they eventually did was they bowed to him when he was made governor in Egypt. But nevertheless, it says she being with child cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. The one that she was delivering into the world was the Mashiach or the Messiah. Verse 3. And there appeared another one in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and they cast into the earth. Now that's talking about Satan and his minion. It says, and the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. See, what you saw, it was some spiritual element going on with what Herod did, and trying to kill the king of the Jews. See, he was gonna kill him. That was from Satan. Okay. Now, verse 5. And she brought forth a man child. Nevertheless, she brought him forth. Talking about the Mashiach, who was to rule all nations. You read the salutation that's given and the message that's given unto Mary by Gabriel. Okay, find out who he is. He's gonna sit on the throne of his father David. He's gonna reign forever. And her child was caught up unto God into his throne. He was in the grave for 3 days and 3 nights. Then he was resurrected and went up. He's sitting on the right hand of the Father, waiting for his foes to be made his footstool in the third heaven. But listen to this, though. Verse 6 says, and the woman fled into the wilderness where she had the place prepared of God. So this is the place of safety. It says that they should feed her there 1,203 score days, 1,260 days, 40 and 2 months, times in the dividing of times. She is going to be in the wilderness for 1,260 days, brothers and sisters. That's the place of safety. It's the wilderness. There's no rapture. Okay. Let's pick it up in verse 13. It says, and when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman. Because if you read verses 7 through 12, it's talking about how Satan got cast into this earth. That's where he's at. He's not in hell, the grave. He's in hell on this earth, making it hell for everybody. So it says, and when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, that's like even when he joked, he said, what comest thou from walking to and from the earth and walking up and down in it? Peter said, as a roaring lion, walking about seeking whom he may devour. Okay, so he says, and when the dragon, I'm in Revelation 12 and 13, I'm not going to keep you long. It said, and when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. You understand? He's persecuting him. Then it says, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle. Okay, this is a deliverance, that she might fly into the wilderness. Guess how long? Into her place where she is nourished for a time and times. It says, and half a time. That's 3.5 years. Okay, from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. So he tried to drown the people that's running away during during this time. This is the escape from Great Tribulation. It says, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up blood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. There is no rapture, brothers and sisters. This is the escape. Some would say, well, that's the escape of the Jews, the so-called Jew, and the Christians got this. You don't have a clue what you're talking about. It's too late in the day to be, you can take it or leave. This is the truth. You know, some of this madness that people talk, they don't even realize where it came from. They don't really realize where their doctrine derives and how impotent and wrong that it is. Daniel the 11th chapter. I want to pick it up at verse. I'm gonna just get right into it, just so we know who we're talking about. Let's pick it up at verse 36. Then we're gonna skip. 36 says, and the king shall do according to his will. He shall exalt himself. This is the man of sin, is abomination of desolation, quote unquote, aka people call it Antichrist, and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper until the indignation be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done. Now let's skip down to verse 41. It says, he shall enter also into the glorious land. That's the promised land. And many countries shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand. Even Edom and Moab and the chief of the children of Ammon. Edom, Moab, and Ammon, brothers and sisters. Why are they escaping out of his hand? Because that's where the place of safety is. Now, where's Edom, Moab, and Ammon? Present day Jordan. He shall stretch forth his hand also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. So you can go to Egypt at this time, but that wouldn't be wise. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But who's going to escape out of his hand? You think this is by coincidence, brothers and sisters? That he say Edom, Moab, and Ammon are going to escape out of his hand? No, it's not by coincidence. It's because that's where the place of safety is, in the wilderness there, of wilderness of Edom, Moab, and Ammon. You look on a biblical map and find out what it is present day. Okay, let me say this. That's that. Let's not. I said, I'm not gonna keep you long. With everything going on, brothers and sisters, better stay prayed up. Keep your faith. Keep your head on a swivel. Make pragmatic decisions. Don't sit there and don't make any moves that are necessary to make at this time. If you don't have a first aid kit, you need to get one. If you don't have basic things that you need to get them. Okay, if you've been in the store, you already know what time it is. Okay. Make sure things are in order. Got a family, they're gonna need food. You need to be getting food. You should have been getting food already for a extended period of time. Okay, use your mind. You pray. Like I said, stay prayed up. and just make wise decisions and try to look at this big picture for the long haul and try to survive. Okay. And you know, that principle of having something in times of famine and having something and doing something for your own deliverance. That's a principle that you see in the Bible. So we as believers, we're gonna stay prayed up, we're gonna stay believing in him, we're gonna pray for his protection and his hedge. And guess what else we're gonna do? We're gonna also make practical, pragmatic decisions, brothers and sisters. Okay. And with that, I want to remind you, we at the Household of Faith meet every Sabbath at 5925 West 25th Avenue in Gary, Indiana at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. We live stream right here on the Israel Teach YouTube channel, as well as at www.israelteach.org. If you've been edified through this ministry and would like to leave a donation, you can do so on our website. Again, www.israelteach.org. 100% of the proceeds goes to the work of the ministry. And with that, brothers and sisters, all praise to the Most High for any edification, because that's always my prayer, that you will edify. Also, let me say this real quick. Almost forgot. Friday night Bible study is on Zoom, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, Friday nights on Zoom, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. You want to look at the description of this video if you want information on how to be a part of the Bible study. It's really time out for games. It's been time out for games. I don't know. You know, it's just time out for games. It's time to get serious. It's been time to get serious about this thing. Okay. All right, brothers and sisters. Peace.